Welcome back to this incredible series. It's unfolding in even more magical ways than, of course, I do kind of expect that to happen, but that's the fun, is to see what starts to unfold when you step in and you go on a journey. So, as I started to listen to the concept, to the idea of this premise, and the idea that we want a gathering, we want to start to recognize and acknowledge each other as wisdom keepers of the goddess, because as the divine needs us in a body for us to be the hands, the voice, the body, here, implementing this, and then experiencing and sending that back. So we are the wisdom keepers of the goddess. Whoops. And I'm super excited to share Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Thank you for being here today. And she's part of the magic. So we just, I was on her show, and then I said, "Oh, yeah, it just came to me really clearly. She's got a message for you." So here we are. Remember to subscribe at nanakasha.com and to also come on over to my show on YouTube, on podcast, on Spotify, all kinds of things, places that you can find it. And this is another level of decoding that library of the infinite, meaning that the return of the priestess is, we've been talking about this, but I want to remind you, if this is your first time checking this out, is that this is talking about you and I. This is talking about the rise of the sacred feminine, which we have been hearing about, but in a very different way, in a very, very balanced and embodied way that says you have to have masculine, feminine polarities, and your goal now is in the time of unity. However, we have had imbalance in both sides, and this is the time to reclaim that sacred feminine. So, whether you're a man or a woman, that has to be reclaimed within you. Now, for me, as a priestess, as a seer, as an oracle in this life and other ones, and as a shaman, and knowing that my path, my purpose, my promise to the universe was to become a spiritual teacher using all these paths, I have to live it. I have to say, when I embody that, this is a commitment. And I've gone through a long time on this journey, and you're in the moment with whatever's happening in your life, and it is a moment of opportunity. It's an initiation, or it's a vision quest, or it's a challenge, or it's a healing. It'll stretch you, it'll break you open, it'll redirect you, and everything's always for us. So now's the time for us to reclaim our purpose has a path and powers, and they're always here, to reclaim that these intuitive gifts are there 24/7. We don't have to know how, we don't have to figure out, we have to go in within. And that is about recommitting to yourself, recommitting to the promise you made to the universe to come here and then embody the divine you already do, but in a conscious way as a creator. Then abundance, prosperity, beauty, love, creativity, everything we want is going to fill us and then fill the world. You can't change the world by going to the world, remember? So, what we're going to do now is open our circle. We already do have the chamber always ready for us, with all the priestesses are here, the lineages, and we really have some very interesting things happening. The moons that we've been having over the last month and a half, up till ones that are coming, are very, moons are feminine, and the phases, and there's all kinds of energies, of course, but these are very interesting because the new moon is taking us from 0 to 29 in Virgo. That means we're traveling a path from beginning to end, and these are critical degrees. And that is 0, the beginning, 29 is the end. Then we have the lunar eclipse where the moon is exactly at 15, another critical degree. All of these are things that are overlaying. What does that mean if you reclaim the fact that in every day, if you follow your intuition, miracles and magic are opening, the energies of the universe are infusing you, offering you moments where you can tune in and be lifted up, be skip that and don't get stuck in the how. So this is definitely a path of prosperity and abundance, but even more about completely shifting your priorities in your life so that we can all create a world that is, and this to the Maya, to a lot of prophecies, we're in the big grand transformation. And also in 2 years, we're going to have the big fire, whatever that means, and depending on the prophecies that you listen to, but it's basically we're burning down the house and starting over. And then we have right now, this year is commonly known as the year that the world splits in half. Now, there's always many versions of the world because it depends on what your reality is coming from you. However, if you consciously start to say, what world do I want to be in? What world do I want to build? So let's take that and open up our, who wants to lead us in today? You do. Okay. So we're going to have our butterfly shamaness, open and lead us into our temple today. Take a nice deep breath in. And then ask that breath to cleanse and clear you of all the past, present, and future blocks and ideas that no longer serve you. And then breathe down through your body, kind of like a French press, and feel it going out your feet and into the earth. Take another deep breath in. I enter this sacred space, and I am ready to remember my wisdom, to reclaim my senses, my powers, the love and the intuitive powers, the deeper powers, the things that know, the things that can guide me without me knowing. And I let go of control, 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 and then I let go of control. Because as I surrender and sink deeply into the embrace of the divine sacred feminine, I am a channel for the love and the voice of Gaia, Ishel, Pachamama, the Earth Mother, the universal, divine, primordial Mother. And I am one. In la catch, I am another you. Alakin, you are another me. So enter the sacred space. Become the butterfly shamaness. Feel her drum in your hand. Feel the butterflies all around you. But they are spirits. They are your lives. They're calling to you. Remember us, remember us, remember us. Let us free you from your cocoon and your limits. Let us show you the beauty of who you are. Come fly with us. And we call on and welcome Kelly. And we give great thanks. So spread those blessings and that gratitude out and shower Kelly as she enters our temple and our circle with deep, deep reverence for her beauty, for her journey, for her willingness, for her courage, for her harmony, for her wisdom, for her joy. And relax into the space and open up, because you will receive energies and healing just through these words, just through this space, just through this conversation. Because the priestess knows, the wise one knows, that the dimensions are so vast and multiple, the medicines are so vast and multiple that everything already exists. And you are receiving on all levels in an optimal way right now. Thank you. All right, so let's meet Kelly. Okay, so, oh yeah, a couple of ones. I want to remind you, the first one, the Rise of the Everyday Priestess, to remember to repeat that. You know, a lot of these have wisdom. You want to take more notes, or because now I actually recommend that you sort of absorb the information. It's kind of what they told you to do in a moment ago. This one's a really good one to repeat. And then this one is going to be one that you're going to want to repeat too, because it's a healing, and it's more than just the witch wound or the burning at the stake. It's the fire element, the fire power, and how to step into the fire yourself and realize nobody took that away from you, and then how to start working with it, because it is the fire priestesses that are really the first circles that are rising right now. So, okay, Kelly is an intuitive advisor and an energy strategist, and I'm really blessed to have been on her show a few times, and we really sync up. You're gonna love her. She's the founder of the CLEARITY Method, helping women rise, align, and lead from their true essence. And we're going to dive into that because that is like a priestess power. That's like going to a school or remembering a power or remembering a method that then begins to create harmony and coherence within you. So you can find Kelly at sherisesconsulting.com. Okay, good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored. I have so much gratitude for the invitation to be here and to really just be part of your community and to connect with them. So thank you so much for the invitation.
You're
Oh,
welcome. So tell us a little bit about your journey. Really from now coming to look at everything as a purpose. And
mhm,
earlier we were talking about how sometimes people have the feeling that they want to get off the earth. That it's very hard here and it's traumatic, and a lot of people don't see the way out, right? They
mhm,
don't see the way out. And I've been there, you've been there, I'm sure. We've all
mhm,
been there. And it's part of what we're talking about. It's part of walking through the initiations of life because it has a lot of opportunity. However, we both came from the place where we didn't know that either when we were going through what we went through. But we can look back now and see the gifts and the powers that are available in where we are and what we have. So share us about your journey and how that transformed for you.
Sure. I'm gonna start in childhood because in childhood, like I I I was a natural born intuitive. Had no idea that that's what I was. Um, I played every day with like I'm like I played every day with the angels, with the priestesses and like even disincarnates. My ancestors would come and visit me and galactics and like I was just very young and thought this is what everybody did. But of course, like many, as I started to get older, I actually had a pretty traumatic experience that finally made me realize that maybe I'm a little bit different than other people. And it was at a young age. I was out on the playground playing with my girlfriends. And I'm like, when you're young and you want to no longer have friends, I'm like, this is the thing that you do. But I was out there and I was playing with them, and I could see and hear one of my friend's grandfathers so clearly. Like it was like he was there with us. And I was having a really hard time understanding why he would be at school with us. So I asked my friend, and immediately my friend started crying and telling me how mean I was because he had passed away just a week ago. But I was experiencing him as if he was alive as alive can be. So I soon became the weird girl at school, which, I mean, which happens. But, continue to fast forward. Um, my like even my like my home my home life wasn't the best. It was actually very emotionally and mentally abusive. In my early years, it was physically abusive. And one of the things that really turned me kind of into the what I felt like the black sheep of the family was my ability to like see and hear things that were outside of what people thought were normal. And so going through that abuse, I spent a lot of time just trying to mask it, trying to hide it. And we are all intuitive. So as hard as you want to mask it and hide it, it really does come out. We just don't realize how it's manifesting and how we're expressing it. So I'm just going to kind of kind of go quickly, but really up until my adulthood, my whole life had been about abuse and experiencing trauma. I've had 4 near death experiences. I realize after the 4th one, I was pretty convinced there is a reason why I'm here because I'm still alive.
Right?
I'm I'm here and I want to say it was probably after the last one when I started to really click out of things. I started taking a little like I want to say I started taking more control and more responsibility of me in my life. Because most of my life I've been in survival mode. That's just kind of what happens when you truly are trying to survive abuse. But the moment that I did that was when I started to experience a real shift in my energy and started really embracing who I was as the intuitive, as and and my intuitive abilities is I read energy very easily. Um, I'm a energy all around, energy and others. And I also have the ability to see into the future, into future timelines. Which is another weird thing for your friends when you're on the playground too. But so when I started to really step into who I was, and it wasn't fully because I had fears and limiting beliefs, just like everybody else. What will people think of me? How will I be received? But like I said, after my 4th near death experience, I knew that there was some reason why I was meant to be here, why I was meant to stay. So, yeah, so I mean, in all honesty, like I just started really embracing it. My journey started off with a friend, a really good friend of mine, encouraging me to do intuitive readings. I and then I would did intuitive readings, I did mediumship readings, and then that's when I really learned about how I can use energy and how I can really shift energy in people's bodies just in a conversation. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's really profound. I'm glad you said that because a lot of people are trying to connect, to their intuition, their clairs, and whatever you want to call them, and you're not doing enough of it, right? You're not doing enough of using it in a practical way to get any good at it. It's like you got to go to the gym, right, to do it. So,
yeah,
not that everybody here needs to go out and start doing intuitive reading. However, it is a boot camp, and it's brilliant. It was a brilliant idea to do that. I teach an intuition awakening class, and it's a really profound for people because we practice and we practice live while everyone's watching. So you get to go through all your fears of, oh, I'm not good enough. And then all of a sudden you sync up because if I did a reading for you, you would give me feedback and then I would do, so on and so forth. And having that immediate feedback is just blasts everybody to a different level of realizing, oh, I do it differently, but we all got this, we all got a similar answer. Like they really start to trust it. So I did the same thing. I designed something called a soul reading, wow, a long time ago. And I sold 50 and I did them in a month.
amazing.
It was ludicrous, right? But I knew immediately because it was all spirit guided. Do this, do this, do this. It was like, okay. And I thought, okay, well, this is a boot camp and I'm going to be really good. And I didn't ask them for anything except their name and their birth date and where they were born. And then it would talk for an hour. And then I
So,
would stop and go, "What do you
yes.
think?" And then, wow. I mean, now I never ever doubt anything.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's so funny because people would come to me and the question that what I would say is, "Well, what do you need?" And I didn't realize that even before, like I said, there was like you never really get rid of it. So even in the times that I was like, I'm squishing this down, I always realized that the moment that I would be like, well, what is it that you need? It was almost like that was the thing that turned it on. So among my friends, they know that whenever the moment that I say, well, what is it that you need? That I'm in the zone. Like here, now's the time to ask. And that was all all that it took. And sometimes people would be like, well, I don't know what I need. And then and then it just started to take off from there. So I call that my superpower. I've always had it. And really, and in all honesty, if you like, when I work with somebody, if you come to work with me, the moment that I naturally say that, but the moment that I am tuned into you, like I really am in your energy. I'm reading it, I'm moving it, I'm looking to see where your patterns are, where they're rooted in the subconscious, because 90% of our life is lives in the subconscious. And I'm starting to move that. And
Mhm.
Nan, you and I had a conversation, like a conversation yesterday, just about the power of your words. So I started really seeing, like literally physically seeing the energy behind the words that I started to give, and how it really was affecting the body, and helping people shift very quickly. And I also like to use I like to add practicality to it. So a lot of times when I do talk about shifting energy, I'm like, what we're doing is we're doing a mindset shift, or we're changing your perspective. I'm going to give you this new perspective.
Mhm.
And so, because, people in a practical sense understand that. And that's really what it all comes down to, in the sense of shifting those limiting beliefs that get in the way. Like, just the junk. We pick up so much junk, and then we hold on to it like we're hoarders, and we don't want to let it go. And I'm like, what are you going to do with that junk? Like, why are you holding on to it? How is it serving you? And I always ask the question, is letting it go, like, I should do it? Because if it's an I should, it's probably usually like, yeah, people tell me it's not good, I don't really quite see
Mhm.
the value in letting it go. And if you want to hold on to it, fine, no judgment. We've all held on to a lot of our junk for a long time. But but a lot of times the people that come to me are when they're in the state of it's a must, but they don't know where, like, how to let it go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I usually call that in between space that a lot of us get stuck in, because we're in this space of who we were, and who we were is no longer serving us.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there's something intuitively that we know in the body that says, I need to make this change, and and really, to me, it's about coming home to who you are.
Yeah.
S
Yeah.
And then we want to shift into that person that we came here to be, right? And really embody that essence of who we are. So I love when people are caught in that in between, because so much is going on, and it may feel like it's not good stuff, but it's actually really good stuff, because it's a purge of letting go, all shedding everything that is not you,
Mhm.
and what appears to be scary, because we get so disconnected from the essence of who we really are, that when we start to move into that, I know, like, that's kind of when I start seeing, like, the fear creep in, because we get so conditioned to hold on to all of this junk and all of these layers, that in reality we really have no idea who the hell we are.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So, like I was looking at my notes from earlier because you were natural intuitive as a child, you said, right? And then
Yes.
you saw all these things and then you learned to hide it or you learned to manage it or who to tell or whatever. And so it was something that attracted things you perceived as negative. Right.
Mhm.
So that transition, and this is true for everybody pretty much. Your story is different. But when you shift into, wait a minute, these are my powers, these are the things I'm missing, these are the whispers of my heart. There's a completely different way to look at life, to believe about life, to receive life, and it's not what everybody else is telling me. So through your challenges as a child, we would say, oh, that's terrible. But it wasn't because it gave you this chance to understand. Now you're a wise woman, you know? Like, I don't wanna hire anybody that hasn't had failures because they definitely haven't been they're not master yet, right? You have to
Right.
go through this, and you recognize, like, I'm a rock and roll star, so well, before we get a little deeper, because it was, like,
Sure.
really felt really good to talk about, like, how you do this and your clarity method, which is about
Mhm.
intuition and these other things we're
Yes.
talking about, which is your sacred feminine. It's the essence of your sacred feminine. It's a body. And it's literally like the Maya say, it's a sense, they call it. And they say it would be as sad to somebody to see you without your eyes in your physical body. You can't see. As somebody who is, I mean, less sad to see you without your eyes than somebody like us who was disconnected from our intuition.
Mhm.
Like it's that important. But first, I want to hear about your high priestess life.
Oh, yes.
This is good stuff.
Yes. So, I've done quite a few regressions. And so in these regressions, this is where I really started to learn about my high priestess life. And then finally, I was like, well, I can just regress myself and learn more. So yes, so I'm gonna say I come from the planet known as Hadar. There's not a lot of Hadarians that walk the earth. There's actually very few of us, and it's not someplace that, like, when we talk about Pleiades or like Arcturus, but my life there, to me, was very special and very sacred. So as I was doing these regressions, one of the things that I had found out, it kind of started out like I had a really important life. I'm an oracle and a seer. And I'm like, well, in every lifetime, I'm an oracle and a seer. So at first I was like, but then I had this one regression where I went back and it was like I was literally reliving who I was and what I did and what I was is I was an oracle and a seer, but I was also an energy alchemist, just kind of like how I am in this life. So I almost feel like I'm mirroring my Hadarian life before. But
Yeah.
then I came to find out that I was literally the planet's high priestess. Like beings would come all over to meet with me and talk with me. But what I was really doing, my role there was to raise the entire planet's frequency, to also raise the frequency of the inhabitants that were on it. And, um, oh man, my story can keep going, but
Okay.
part of the reason why, and I realize that there is a mirror and there is a correlation, is that that's what my highest mission is here. We are moving into that new earth. And so one of the things I did was to move Hadar into the new Hadar, like we're moving into the new earth. But to
Mhm.
do that, we have to raise our frequency in a way that is not, I'm going to meditate and my frequency is going to raise. Like, we are really talking about stepping in to the full essence and embodiment of who we are. Like, if we are ever going to reach our highest frequency, it has to be that pure, like I call it the purification of just our entire body, and really just accepting and embracing who we are. So my life on that planet was the same thing. As I continued to do my regression, I also had learned that part of the reason my mission there was to really raise the frequency of the beings there, is that, so to get a little quantum physicsy, is that when we vibrate so high, like a good example would be like I'm going to use like the air and the molecules in the air, is that, believe it or not, when we vibrate, we create a lot of space, and like that's part of that expansion. And when we get to the point of vibrating so high, it's literally like we could disappear in a good way. Okay, not that we would disappear and we would never come back, but part of what my mission was is, as the high priestess of Hadar, I had kept getting these premonitions that we were going to be under attack and that our planet was going to be overtaken. And I remember being in that regression and literally like kind of freaking out, like, oh my gosh, like this is going to happen. Then I had another regression where I saw where it happened, and we were taken over by the reptilian. And the reptilians, their goal was to completely wipe us out, to take us over on this planet. Well, that was when I realized that my role is to help people vibrate so high that we literally, it would appear like we vanished from the planet. No war, nothing to take us over. And that's exactly what I did. And when our planet wasn't taken over by reptilian anymore, I'm gonna assume they probably got bored because they, they kind of like to do destruction. um we all came back to the planet. I guess we kind of reappeared again is the best way I could describe it. So when and I'm going to incorporate how the clarity method also came into this. But when our now that our earth is starting to split, I feel driven, like more than anything. Like it's almost like this burning desire that it's really time for me to step into that and really start teaching people, not me raising your vibration, but showing you how to embrace yourself to raise your vibration. And my clarity method isn't really about what it is that I do for you. It's just me kind of being that guide to show you the way. Because once you learn it, or you can use any part of it, once you really, I say once you learn it, but what you're really learning is how to embrace it and how to use it for you. Because how I experience it and how you will experience will be different. But we all have these different ways in which we can actually tap into that intuitive essence and really connect mind, body, and soul, which is what we really need to have. We need those to come together for our frequency to, I mean, to just to raise, to really expand.
Yeah.
So I'll stop there for a second because I know that was a lot, but yeah, my life here is very much mirroring my life on Hadar.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love it because just with your story, there's so much clarity to people about how really this is true for everybody. Not that you're exactly what Kelly's talking about, but that you have a deeper purpose that has that much clarity, that much strength, that much power, that much influence. And when and if you decide to discover it and step into it, you're going to be agreeing to have a different role on the planet, right? Like
Mhm.
that's a very big deal to me and my friends, right? Like my friends who are super doing their path, like this, it's like, wow, this year the shedding happened in the beginning, it's still happening, but that was so much. And now it's just like rising out of that dead snake skin, perfectly formed as an advanced being, as yes, I'm stepping into my purpose. The universe is meant to, I step in my purpose, the universe will provide, right? I also, what I love about what you said was like when you vibrate higher, that's something that the physicists know about physicists. But if you think about quantum physics, those movies that talk about when atom or whatever they're looking at, right, raises its vibration and then it disappears, right?
Mhm.
But it appears over here. It appears in a different place. It appears
Mhm.
at a higher frequency. It appears in a different state of consciousness. It appears in a different realm. So it's not like you disappear and didn't go anywhere, but you was like, okay. And what it reminded me of is what I know the Anasazi did and the Maya did was ascend. There's these cultures that was like they left and there's their breakfast sitting there. What happened to them?
Right.
They ascended. They did, what happened? They just left, they abandoned, and, they were always trying to come up with some kind of drought theory and all this, we're looking at it from a very physical perspective.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that's what you do, which is another mastery that we are remembering in our telepathic
Mhm.
field, the way that birds do that. We can rise in and out of states of consciousness as one in individuality. So Wonderful. I'm so glad that you shared that. It's so juicy. I could talk about that for about 3 days. Like, get a coffee, let's go. Um, okay. So go into your clarity method too,
Yeah.
because now everybody understands, that your life led you here, and like everyone
Mhm.
else, there was ups and downs and being weird, but now that you're having these huge revelations, right, about who you
Yes.
are. And then clarity. I know recently you've just decided to kind of even go to a new level of how you see yourself and your self-image and
Mhm.
what you're going to be doing and how you're going to be doing it, which is not uncommon now. Everything's changing very fast.
Yes. I'm like at rapid speed for sure. So yeah, well, it was really funny because the way that the clarity method came in through a download, which was really interesting because I want to tell you, I was chilling out and relaxing in my bathtub because it was just one of those days. And it's like I like to kind of ask the question, but I ask the question, but not necessarily with the intent that I have to have an answer. Like I believe that the answer will come and however it needs to come. But so I honestly had asked the question. I was like, okay, I'm here. Why am I here? And what is it that I'm really doing? Like it was just kind of like that human question. I'm like, what am I really doing here? And I instantly went into this very trance like meditation, and it was like all of a sudden I got the C to it. And I was like, well, what is the C? And because I like practicality. So you need to give me like what does this mean? And I saw channel the now. And I was like, well, what is channeling the now? And so I sat with that and it was almost like I started doing the work on myself. So I started going into my body and I started to feel these different sensations or these different things in my body. And I started just talking to it. Because when we connect with our body like that, we then bring ourselves into the now. So I started just having a conversation with it and as I was having this conversation with it, it was almost like it led me to kind of the next thing. But here's the thing before I get to the L in there is that what I so I just want to say this because there's people that are like, "Well, I don't know how to channel. I don't know how to do this." And I'm like, everybody knows how to channel. And if you and chat and even when you use that method of channeling the now and we're going in psychology we would call that like somatic work, right? So when we're going in and we're feeling into our body and we start asking it questions and we think that it's our body that is talking to us, we are actually connecting with our higher self that is then connecting in with source or the infinite wisdom that is up there. And when you're getting an answer, you are channeling. So I just wanted to share that because I do believe that everybody has the ability to channel. So I started kind of just channeling this information. And then as got more curious and I started asking more questions, then I got into my L and I could hear so loudly locate the pattern. And I started seeing these different patterns as to kind of in the state that I was then. I'm like, I have a childhood thing, I have an adult thing, I have a thing that's happening now. And I truly am a firm believer is that we're in this state where we don't have to completely regress and relive the trauma. All really what we need is our higher mind to just kind of to kind of like our subconscious to bring it up so our higher mind can start healing it. Or so so I started seeing all of these patterns and I realized I'm like, well, wait a minute, this is just coming into my awareness. So then as they started coming in and I started really looking at my awareness, I was like, well, I have a choice. Like I could either stay where I'm at, and again, that's okay, staying in that status quo, or do I feel in my heart of hearts that it is a must for me to start doing this transition? And of course, I was like, oh no, I want to get out of this. I do not want to stay stuck in this. So the minute that I made that decision, I then thought, well, I want to connect. Next, I want to connect because we do live in an infinite amount of time of different timelines. Like for conversation's sake, like I'll talk about past lives or I talk about future lives, but the truth of the matter is we are constantly living in these timelines that are parallel. Like we can access them at any time because we are like, they say the past, the present, and the future are happening now. And it's very true when I see into these timelines. So sometimes I have a hard time when people are like, well, in my past life, and I'm like, no, that's like happening now. I kind of leave the realm of linear time, but I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I want to bring forward the energy and the frequency of the timeline of the person that I am transitioning into. And then when we bring in that timeline and I don't want to necessarily say see it, but when we start experiencing the frequencies of it, we start being what the frequencies of that is, we then collapse that old timeline. So I was like, okay, I'm bringing in this timeline. I see where I want to be moment to moment to moment, because you can bring in one timeline, the next timeline, that all correlates to that energy, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to access that timeline. Here it is. And now that I have it here and I know that is the person that I'm already am, how do I make that connection between I'm all this Kelly and this Kelly that I actually already am? Like I'm already am those things out there. And then what I was shown, and it was just like, it was the most beautiful experience I had, because it was then I started to embody the essence of that Kelly that I wanted to be. And I was like this Kelly thinks differently. This Kelly, even as sitting here in the bathtub, is breathing differently. Like, and my world really started to open up and I started to see things so differently than how it was. And so then I decided, well, every day I may not, like, you have those visions. I have the same vision. I want to have this little house and all of this land. And I'm using this as an example of that's a Kelly that's already created. How do I want that? And I was like, well, I hear water. So we have to take an action to start the integration. So I decided that my daily routine is going to change. In the mornings, I love to journal, but I'm not near water, but I'm going to put water sounds on my phone. So it brings back that energy of being in this new Kelly, or not a new Kelly, but the Kelly that I've always been. And so I started making a lot of those types of changes and really started embodying that essence. And the more that I did that, I could feel the old timeline collapsing. So I have a caveat to that, is that when the old timeline is collapsing, and this is why I like to work with the people that are that in between energy, is that your old life will try to pull you back. Because when it collapses, we're literally putting to death our old life. And it is clinging on to life to try to stay alive. So it will try to pull you back into old patterns, old ways of thinking, and old ways of being. So when that starts to happen, that comes into your awareness as a trigger of, well, wait a minute, I'm just being pulled back. You just need to take another step to embody the essence of who you are to help you get out of that, unlike that old timey person that you are. And maybe it's just taking a step and going out for a 10-minute walk to move that energy, whatever it is, to do something that steps you back into that. So I really, for a while, got a lesson in that as I was experiencing it. I just feel old Kelly trying to hold on and be like, come back to me. And I was like, hell no. So we always want to embody that person, the person that you are, that I'm going to say that's already out there, that you already are, so that you start bringing it into the now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I thought about, well, as we're moving forward and we're bringing more of that frequency in, and another way to have the old self let go is we have to recalibrate that frequency that's in your body. So we have to keep doing those recalibrations that keep connecting us to the person that we are wanting to be, versus the old person that we're trying to shed and let go of. So we have to recalibrate these frequencies. So, every morning I wake up and I do a recalibration. If it's in the middle of the day and I kind of feel myself kind of just out of alignment, I recalibrate myself so that I can continue to move forward into this Kelly that I want to be so badly, that I came here to be. So a lot of recalibration. And then the other part of it is trust your intuition. All of this is just intuitively guided. And so if we sit there and say, well, this is what's coming through on my quote unquote timeline, and you start second guessing it, then you're not fully connecting with that person that you're supposed to be. Like we are such highly evolved people, that we are beings that we really can see and have what it is that man, you said it yesterday. If it wasn't meant for you, you would have no idea about it. Like you wouldn't see it, you wouldn't anything. So I really encourage people to, part of this is using your intuition. You have to, because this is all connecting with who you are. And it's nothing outside of you. Nothing I've said is go to so and so and they're going to do this. This is all about you doing this yourself. And so we've got to come back to that. And that is all very intuitively guided. And then finally, the last part of it, because one of the things that I'm going to say we are all guilty of, is we always have this idea that we have to be in this place, and we forget that the perfect timing is exactly where we're at right now. So the why is yield to divine timing, meaning you're in the perfect place, exactly where you're at. This is the place you have to be in this moment in order to keep moving forward. And so in that, a lot of that is a lot of subconscious work. So a lot, and like I have a huge background in psychology, hypnotherapy, you name it. I've done some sort of therapy, but to me the most potent is when we're really working with the subconscious and the higher self, because that's where change can happen. And so a lot of techniques that I will use is, I'm not going to tell you who you need to be or where you need to go, but I will kind of give you the help to kind of push you. I'm going to poke you in that direction, and then support you as you trust your intuition, because you know better than I do. We can go to any psychic that we want and they can give us information, but the person who knows you the best will always be you. And the problem is we've been taught so long and conditioned to second guess ourselves so that we give up that control. And the clarity method isn't about giving up control. It's about embracing your own power and really learning how to step into it. And it was very interesting because when I got this download and I see this vision, and after it was like yield to divine timing, I was like, okay. And it was literally like I had never felt so at home as to who I am in my entire life. And so again, that really goes back to recalibrating that frequency. What you're recalibrating to is home, and coming back to who you are, and that pure essence of your soul that has no judgment, no criticism, just pure love and acceptance of who you are in that moment. In every single moment, that's who you are. So that is my clarity method. I have tried it out on friends and have seen incredible transformations. And it's been fun to, I say I try it out on friends because everybody's got to be your guinea pig at first. But I have used it on clients to watch them just come back. And you can use this for spirituality if you're like, I need to realign with my spiritual self. And like I said, I love to use practical because we are still here on earth. We are living a human life on earth. So, if you are struggling with financial wellness, if you're struggling with social wellness, if you're struggling with emotional wellness, this is a method that you can use for all of that to help you recalibrate, come back into alignment, and find those answers, because the best answer again is the one that comes from you.
Yeah. Well, and what I love about it is I'm the same way. I want you to remember your own authority, find your own
Mhm.
voice, learn to look within, come to the things we do together. Of course, we can see, we can support you. But yeah, everything is to come back to don't seek things outside yourself, except for, of course, all the beautiful synchronicities that you align with. Um, and what I love, there's several things I really love about what you're talking about is one, you did it for yourself, and now it's something you can share. And it's not just a theory you learn from someone else and you're just using it to do on other people. You have this personal experience, which changes completely the type of experience that you had, right? The authenticity of it, the
Yeah.
depth of it. And I like that. I like that I'm working on myself all the time and it's usually very in sync with my what my clients are doing or ready
Mhm.
for, right? And then there's the ability to share that wisdom as we're going through it and I'm learning from them and they're learning from me and we're having
Yeah.
this clarity. So um well so share with us was each letter meant something?
Yeah, so the C
Share
is
that again.
yeah, sure. So the C is channel the now.
Channel that
The
out.
L is locate the pattern. The E is embody the essence. The A is access the timeline. The R is I left out a letter. I just realized. I'm so sorry because some of these do blend together. But the R is to recalibrate. The I is to integrate the truth. So as you are doing this, I feel like the I kind of, it goes through all of it because each step is integrating the truth of who you are. And the T is to trust your intuition, and the Y is yield to divine timing.
Ah, perfect. I love it. All right, good. And is there anything else you want to share before we close?
You know, I would love to just have people. One of my favorite things is accessing timelines. I play in time for funsies. I play in timelines. So one of the things that I really would love to do, if it's all right with your audience, is just kind of take you into kind of take you into your body, into your essence, and let you connect with one of your with your highest timeline or whatever timeline is meant for you to be a part of, and in this moment.
Oh,
Um, because the truth of the matter is, I just want to tell everybody, we are moving through timelines at rapid speed. Within less than a second, we are constantly shifting timelines. And as kids, I was a huge daydreamer and didn't realize that what I was really daydreaming back is like I was actually taking leaps into different timelines and experiencing them. So it is about your imagination. I think your imagination is the best gift that you could have. And so I would love to just kind of help people tap into that and then experience that timeline if that's okay.
oh, please. Yes, yes, yes,
Oh,
and yes.
awesome. Thank you. Okay. So I just relax where you are. You don't have to be laying down. You could be sitting down. You could be doing whatever it is that you're wanting to do. And what I want you to do is I want you to take your palm and I do want you to just put it up against your heart chakra and just kind of put a little bit pressure there. And so that pressure will already start kind of moving that energy in your body. And since we have already talked about it, we are setting the intent to experience that timeline. And so as we begin, all I want you to do is just very simply, I just want you to put all of your focus on your life force energy, which is your breath. And I just want you to take notice about how your breath moves in and out of your body. And as we put our focus on our breath, it is really helping us connect with our body, with our mind, soul, and our body. And you may even notice how your breath just will naturally start to slow down. And it will naturally begin to also slow down the nervous system. And I just want you to just notice that. And then next, what I want you to do is I want you to put your focus on your actual physical heartbeat. And I just want you to connect with it. I want you to see it, hear it, feel it. And I just want you to connect with your heartbeat. And again, we're connecting with that electromagnetic energy that is us because we are all energy. And so as you connect with your heartbeat, you're truly connecting in with the energy of your soul because this is you, this is your energy. And now, as you do this, I want you to just with intent, then begin to connect just your breathing. You don't have to do anything fancy, just breathe regularly and synchronize your life force energy, your breath, with the electromagnetic energy of your body, which is your soul, and begin to just synchronize that. And as you begin to synchronize that, we are then truly coming into the essence of our soul. We are truly bringing our mind and body all together into one, into coherency. And once you are in that coherency, I'm just going to ask you to just take just a deep breath in and out, just allowing just to go deeper and deeper into that connection and coming together into that oneness that is you. And from this space, we are going to ask your subconscious and your higher self to step forward because we also want to have a beautiful synchronistic relationship with the two of them. And we're actually going to ask your subconscious to take a bit of a break, to just kind of kick its feet up in the most comfortable chair it can. And then we're going to bring in the energy of the higher self. And all we have to do is just with intent, just ask the higher self to just step forward. I just want you to feel that energy. I could feel the shift of the energy already because our higher self loves us. It is always there for us. It will never forsake us. It is always bringing us into the right direction, guiding us in the correct way that we need to, always finding us the best and most highest path for ourselves. And so, what we're going to do as we bring in that higher self, we're going to ask the higher self to fully and completely step into the quantum of infinite of possibilities, infinite timelines. And we're just going to ask the higher self that in this very moment to bring forward the highest and best timeline for us. And I want you to trust whatever comes in. I don't want you to question it. I don't want you to judge it. And we're just going to ask the higher self to do that quick shuffle of going through all those infinite timelines. Beautiful. And so to make this fun, what we're going to do is I want you to bring now your focus into your beautiful heart space, bringing all of that energy right into that beautiful heart space. And I want you to see, sense, and feel inside that beautiful heart space. It could be a door. Maybe it's the opening to a waterfall. I don't care what it is because however it comes to you is exactly what you're needing right in this moment, being created by the higher self. And as you see that doorway that is right in front of you, we're going to ask your higher self to then bring closer that timeline, bringing it closer, bringing it in. And as I count down from 3 to 1, when I say 1, whatever it is, if it's a doorway, waterfall, maybe it's the opening to a beautiful cave, I want you to step through that. So 3, we're asking the higher self to bring it closer, making it come into clearer view, whether that's seeing it, feeling it, experiencing it, or maybe just even knowing that it is there. We're asking it to bring it closer. 2, it is right behind that door, or it's sitting in that doorway behind that beautiful waterfall. 1, we are stepping through, stepping into that timeline. And as you are in there, I just want you to experience nothing else but experience the frequencies of it. I want you to see what it is that you see. I want you to hear what it is that you hear. I want you to be what it is that you are meant to be. And I just want you to take it all in. We don't have to do anything with it. Just bring it forward, taking it in. And as we bring that in, we are fully bringing that energy into our body, into the essence of who we are. And we are feeling that energy, every cell, every fiber of our being. We are bringing that in more and more and more. And again, I just want you to be the observer of it. Because once we become the observer of it, it then becomes a reality for us. And that's all we need right now, is to just observe it and bring in those frequencies, bringing that into our body. And I want you to I just want you to be in this space just for a moment. And maybe it is that you have a question about what's going on in your life, or maybe another experience that you had a question about it. You can bring that energy into that to also pull forward more and more of that timeline that you are needing in this moment. And because we are working with the higher self, please do not force an answer, because you don't need to, because the higher self knows that that is what you're needing, and that is what you're wanting, and it is going to reveal it to you in the perfect way that you will know. And that is different for all of us, which is what makes us each so beautiful and unique. Just bring in that information. All right, beautiful. And now what I want you to do is, I want you to, almost as if you're handing back whatever that picture is, whatever it is that you're seeing, I want you to hand that back and let it go. But I want you to continue to embody and embrace the essence of those frequencies, because those are what we're going to bring back through that doorway. Those are what we have now brought in to your body. And just let whatever the vision is, if you see it, let it go. Whatever the knowing is of it, let it go. You don't need that. Just bring in those frequencies. And now that we have brought those frequencies into our body, we are now communicating with the universe, and we are telling the universe, this is where I want to be. And as we come back back into consciousness, we will then turn that this is where we want to be to this is where I am, because we want to embody that in the moment as if it is already here. So as we let that go and we embody all of those frequencies, we are then going to start walking back to whatever that entryway was. And as we walk back, we are letting go. And when I count down from 3 to 1, we will be back through that doorway and back into the essence of our heart and of our soul. And so 3, we are coming back. 2, we are getting closer. And 1, we are stepping through that entryway back into the essence and the energy of our beautiful heart center, our beautiful soul. And as you do that, what I want you to do is, I do want you to take a deep breath in. And as we take this deep breath in, we are taking those frequencies, we are expanding them throughout our body, we are expanding them out into our field, down into Mother Earth, above us into Source. And we are creating that energetic frequency with all of the waves of those frequency. And this is the moment that we are telling the universe, this is who I am right now. And we are yielding right now to the divine timing of who we are right now. And we are creating that integration. And breathe, deep, deep breath in, breathing it in again, expanding it out. Seeing and being and feeling that in the now person that we have brought in from our highest timeline. Beautiful. And now, what I want you to do is, I just want you to go back to focusing on your breathing, just your natural breath. And as you focus on your natural breath, we are coming back, grounding into our body, asking Mother Earth to just hug us and love us as she does every single moment of the day. And now in this space, before we open our eyes, I just want you to take just not a huge deep breath in, but just take kind of a deep breath in. And in this moment, we're going to set this intention. And now we're going to integrate that truth by just deciding that in the next 24 hours, you're going to make one step that is this new version of you, of who you want to be. And it can be a simple step. It doesn't have to be anything outrageous. It can be just as simple as like what I do. I play water sounds as I journal. And maybe it is just journaling about your experience or writing about the person that you are in the first person as if you were already that person. Because integration is about action. And so we do have to show the universe, as the universe is working for us to bring us in and shift us into that person. We have to let the universe know that we are all in through just easy action. And once you have that, just take another deep breath in. And you can wiggle your toes and your fingers. And when you're ready, just open your eyes and just come back into feeling that you have. That is now this newer version of you. You are no longer that person that you were before we started it, because moment to moment, we are all already changing. And now you've made that commitment to say, this is who I am versus this is who I was.
Wow, incredible. What a gift. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was already saying, "Oh, I'm going to repeat this tonight."
Yes. And
Uh,
and you could do it as many times as you want. Like I said, like, if you want to be more spiritual, ask for that spiritual timeline. If you want, like, if you're sitting there and you're saying, you know what, I want to have a better relationship with my family, you can step into that and ask for that timeline to come forward. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Like for you, like what would that mean for you? And then just take one small step every day, because you'll see those small steps will start to build into even more and more and bigger steps, till one day you will just be that person. You will not be that old version of who you are. In fact, you will forget that old version of you because it no longer serves you. This person in the moment, in this now, is what serves you. And every time we go from here to experience whatever it is that we need to experience, we are coming home to ourselves. We are tapping into the true, purest form of who we are. And the more we do that, eventually we'll just be home.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love how you describe it, because that's exactly the way that all the mystics have described it. You know, you just keep turning your back on what was, stepping into embodying what you wish for, until one day you're it. You've completely blended and merged into that being your reality. And the truth is, that's what you did to get where you are right now. So
Mhm.
it just wasn't conscious, right? Like you said.
Yeah.
So bending reality, bending time, all these things you're doing every day. You've just not done them consciously, you know?
Right?
So it's really exciting. So thank you. Ah, this is so good. Um, Wonderful. So remind us again where they can find you and what do they do if they want to go deeper with your process?
Yeah. So if you want to go deeper, I do offer, I like to call it mentoring because to me, mentoring means I'm supporting you in your journey and your discovery. It's not me telling you or coaching you as you have to be this. So if you would like to get in touch with me, you can on my website at sherisesconsulting.com. You can also find me on Instagram, which is it is she underscore rises underscore consulting. You can find me on LinkedIn, Kelly Boyer. You can find me there. But yeah, you can definitely connect with me through my website. Yeah, it that's where you will find me.
Thank you. Well, thank you, High Priestess, for visiting us today and for coming back, for coming and bringing your wisdom, you know, that you're carrying. This is really exactly what we're talking about here, right? Is waking up to the point where you let go of your ego, chasing desires that we all do, and that's okay, and realize your higher purpose. And then you start to co create with it in these really interesting, fun ways that is always creating increase, right? Multiplying your peace, multiplying your wisdom, multiplying your trust of the
Mhm.
universe. And that's the beauty is the difference is a lot of people believe that they're doing this work to make everything perfect and then it'll stay that way. But
Mhm.
people are still gonna die. You're still gonna, stub your toe. I'm not gonna curse you for anything, but that's not the point. The point is how you go through it and who you're being and what you're using it for. And that's
Mhm.
what's beautiful is how you are kind of a transformational conduit, you know.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, sweetie. Thank you,
Oh.
everyone. And we will see you again soon. Let's just all go ahead. We're just all blissed out right now. So we'll just go into let's bathe ourselves in gratitude, calling in gratitude, appreciation, reverence, calling in oneness, calling it this exquisite experience and accepting it completely all the way down to the deepest level of our being and let it raise our frequency, increase our space until poof, we create our own reality, we create our own planet, we create our own atmosphere. And now let's overflow with that gratitude and send it out into our lineages and our ancestors and our family and our house and into the earth. And now let's send it to Kelly and let's bathe Kelly in gratitude and grace and everyone she's helping in her path. And then let's come back and say in Lak'ech, I am another you. Alakin, you are another me, and we are one. So, as each one of us takes one moment, one realization, one shift, one belief dissolved, one moment of clarity, we all take a step forward. We give great thanks for this moment, this time, this sacred space between the worlds, all the priestesses, all the divine feminine, the deep mother, grandmother, and all that is within us. We thank ourselves, our bodies, our purpose, our mind. And now let's let the whole world light up with that gratitude and be the brightest light in the entire galaxy and start to radiate that out, offering that to everyone, anywhere, in any timeline. May this circle be open yet unbroken, and the clarity, the presence, the peace, and the acceptance of this moment go with us with every breath and every step. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful. Thank you again, Kelly. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. Have a
Yes.
beautiful day. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
And remember to repeat this and to share this too. The point is to get this out across the world so that everybody is getting exactly what they need in the moment. And you never know, wow, you never know the power of what might happen for somebody if you share something like this for them. Because if you think about it, it's probably the right moment. Right?
Mhm.
You may be the conduit for their abundance. So